Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is Rosie Rosette 2020. And I just want to touch upon briefly on I saw an article regarding there was a raid at Soledad prison here in California. And I read an article about this. This was the other night that I read the article, and I was like, you know what? I'm too tired. I was in my garage. It was hot. And I was like, I will revisit this another day. But there was an article that I read that they did a raid in Soledad prison. Did I make a video on that? I don't think so. And they woke. They woke up the inmates like at 3 o'clock in the morning. While the inmates, they made all of the inmates without a mask or anything like that, go to the kitchen or some other area, and it wasn't any, you know, social distancing. I think they kept them all in the kitchen. While they were in the kitchen, close together, I think they were like on their knees or something like that. And this is for a couple hours. So while they were on their knees or whatever, in one area, the guards were in their cells. They tore up their cells. I think they cleaned them out. And, they took any books or any literature that they had, from the cells. And they only did this to black prisoners. Again, this was in Soledad prison, and this was the other day. This wasn't like years ago or anything. This was very recently. So what they did is while they, took the guards away from their actual cells, or the prisoners away from their actual cells, they, ransacked their cells and they went through everything. And, they took like books and any literature or, anything that had to do with, I guess, any revolutionizing. Okay, here it is. Here it is. All right. So Soledad 3 a.m. raid on 200 plus black prisoners. This was recently. This was very recently. And okay, so the article was on July 20th. So Soledad guards in riot gear at 3 a.m. July 20th snatched 200 black prisoners from their bunks, brutalized them, crammed them into the kitchen for hours, zip tied them, and they were unmasked. Um, So this is a correctional training facility at Soledad State Prison in California. Violently ripped hundreds of black prisoners from their bunks, regardless of good behavior or lack of gang affiliation. The men were slammed around by wannabe commandos in full riot gear, then zip tied and laid in the dark in the chow hall. The men were bare feet, wearing only what they had fallen asleep in. They weren't even allowed to grab their masks. Reports from the prison indicate upwards to 200 men were assaulted, then forced to sit shoulder to shoulder with other unmasked inmates in the kitchen as a tower sniper was called, just in case one or some of the cuffed men needed to execute on the spot. The men were made to sit there for hours without even being told what was happening. Apparently, I guess this lady, wrote this or whatever. My husband was one of the inmates that was violently tossed off his top bunk, woke up as he was in the air, and slammed his head into the center block wall. His head still hurts nearly 24 hours later. His hands were bound so tightly that they turned blue. Abuse. I know what you're thinking, but what did he do? This is the thing. He, just like countless other black men in his building, had done nothing to deserve this treatment they received Monday at 3 o'clock. Gavin Newsom, so it goes on to say that Gavin Newsom allows California prisons to run like internment camps with rations unsuitable for a child or a child and abuse untrained, unskilled officers. Okay, I don't want to read all of this. Okay, so the lady goes on to say that her husband reads books by black revolutionaries and even has his own revolutionary works. The guards have told him flat out that if he sagged his pants and had less books, that he'd be ignored like the rest. So apparently, if you are into your history and you want your rights and you have self-knowledge as a black person, apparently the guards are intimidated, allegedly. Little did the men know, but as they were sitting in wait, their cells were being ransacked. Guards took every book, piece of mail, note, and phone book that they could find. My husband had hundreds of dollars worth of books alone. Will they ever receive these things back? Did the former high school jock failures who stole their belongings bother to separate and label each inmate's things? Doubtful. That would take actual work, which is something no one with a badge wants to do. The men returned to their empty cells in pain, cold, and dirty. After hearing from her husband, okay, I just want to see. It's here from her husband on Monday. Now it's time for us. This is not good. This is not good at all. Now, if you guys have a problem with this, here are the numbers that you call. Can you see that? Here are the numbers that you call. Gavin Newsom's office, the Corrections Secretary, Ralph Diaz, the Warden Craig Koning, and this is the information. This is just despicable, Okay, so the Warden Craig, his number is 831-678-3951. The Corrections Secretary Ralph is 916-323-6001. Gavin Newsom, I don't know why I can't say that today. 916-445-2841. I don't understand what was the reasoning for all black men, 200 of them. That's a lot. Those are a lot of men. To have them take their books, their mail, their notes, all of their belongings, and compensate them. Why would you do that? Why? And then you heard what the lady said, that the guard said to one of them, if you sagged your pants and you didn't have as much literature or books, we wouldn't worry about you. You're not a threat. If you're ignorant, we don't pay much attention to you. But allegedly, if you're of substance, if you're knowledgeable, if you read, if you want self-worth, if you want to get out of prison and not return, we're intimidated by you. Because maybe allegedly, you may tell on us, or, you may get out and do right, and then that's not job security for us. Again, why is it that we have 113,000 prisoners in California alone? So is it that, why was it only black prisoners that they did this to? Does it have anything to do with the Black Lives Matter? What kind of connection of being black and getting raided? 200 prisoners sat in the chow hall, in the kitchen or the auditorium or whatever at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're already in prison. What can you do? Is it that, did they get record that, was it 200 prisoners were going to escape? Did they think that the Black Lives Matter movement was going to, plan an escape for 200 prisoners? What exactly is going on? Now, if this is not highway discrimination against black people, tell me what is. But they're already in prison. I mean, like, what else do you want to do? Do you want to hang and kill them now? Like, what is going on? So, you guys, I've given the information. Please call and protest these hideous actions against men at Soledad. Okay? Drop any comments. Let me know if you have anything to say. I appreciate it. Thank you and goodbye.